Hello everyone, my name is Mathis Arundel and welcome to Veronaville 40 years later. This is a Sims 2 save in which 40 years or 40 in-game days have passed. I go by a 1 day equals 1 year system in my Sims aging process. So since 40 days have passed, 40 in-game years have passed and the Sims have aged accordingly. So I thought, since so much time has passed, and since I've done this for Strange Town and River Blossom Hills, maybe I would do it for Veronaville as well. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into the first family here, who are the Cap family, the main Cap family. So we're going to go ahead, hop into Cap Manor, and see what has transpired in the last 40 years. All right, and here we are at the Cap Manor. I really didn't do anything to the house, adjustment wise. It's virtually the same as when you start the game at the beginning. I did change out the bushes just because the gardener could not get to them, but I know there's a mod out there that can fix that, but I don't have that mod just yet. First thing you'll notice is that Juliet is not in the household. We'll get to her eventually. I think she'll be the last household that we actually get to, but she's still alive. She's still in the town. She has played a huge part in the story. So here we have Tybalt. Here's Tybalt Cap. Tybalt is currently level 5 in the politics career. Where are you going here? You're not going to school? Nobody's going to school today. Nope. You're not going to school because I am doing this. So he has done fairly well for himself. He's still a popularity sim. He's still doing all right. I think he might have kind of made things up with Mercutio. I can never pronounce that name. I've never been able to pronounce that name. I was never able to pronounce that name back in high school when I had to do the Romeo and Juliet play. So I apologize. So yeah, they haven't made up at all, but they're still enemies, obviously. But Tybalt ended up marrying Pamela Landry, who is a townie. And together they had Audrey, little Audrey Cap here. This is Tybalt's daughter. Now, there is a huge age difference between Pamela and Tybalt, just because it took forever for Tybalt to find anybody. They only have one bolt of chemistry, and I only let it happen because ACR took over. But there was just nobody in town that he could find with two bolt of chemistry. There is now with Cressidia Monty, or Cressida. How do I spell it? Cressida. I named her. I should know how to pronounce it. But there was nobody before that. Hermia. Hermia is doing pretty well. Family sim, things are going great for her. She has a son, a Hugh. She is unemployed. She's never wanted a job. She's never gotten a job. All she wanted to do was raise her son, get him married, have a family. And that's what she got. She ended up marrying Hugh. I have to look in my book because I wrote it down, actually. Not Hugh. Hugh is her son. This is Curtis Ryan that she married, who was a townie, and he's going to sleep. Curtis is a slacker career, and Pamela is a fast food worker. Hermia and Curtis have a teenage son. This is Hugh Cap. He is a knowledge sim. I think he does fit a knowledge sim pretty well. He's not very neat. He's incredibly sloppy, but he's very serious. I think that's the main point, is he's so serious. I feel like he has to be a knowledge sim. Although he is fairly active. I don't know if it really fits him. Although he is very sloppy, so he's going to take a bath. I've been doing a thing recently where I haven't been doing aspirations solely based off of Zodiac. Why couldn't I think? I couldn't think of the name Zodiac. I haven't been doing aspirations solely off of the Zodiac signs. I've been kind of doing it character based, and he has just seemed like a knowledge sim to me. He wanted to do his homework and things like that. And then Tybalt and Pamela have a little girl, Audrey, and Audrey will probably be... she'll probably be a fortune sim so far. I haven't noticed her want to do her homework too much yet or anything like that, but time will tell. She'll probably be a fortune sim Um, like her, no, her father is a knowledge sim. But yeah, she'll probably be a fortune sim. I don't really know much about her yet. So Hermia, she ended up with a townie because if we scroll all the way down here, things with Puck ended up not working out at all. Like nothing really even happened with Puck. You know, she's not even attracted him. I think in the base game there wasn't chemistry, so they didn't work that out. But nothing ever came of her relationship with Puck. I did think about getting her with Romeo because they do work so good together, but I didn't because Juliet and Romeo were still really good together at the time. Romeo didn't mess that up for quite a few years. And then she does have two bolts with Curtis, so it's like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get them together. But yeah, that's really all that's happened with the Cap family in this household, at least for the members that still live here. And don't worry, Hugh, I'm not saving this, so you're fine. But yeah, that's all for this household, so let's move on to the next one. And our next household to check out is the Montys at the Monty Ranch. You can see it's definitely a bigger family than we had left off. It looks very different. So let's go ahead and hop into the ranch and see what's changed. And here we are at the ranch. Obviously, Patrizio and Isabella are long dead. They were very old at the beginning of the game. So let's check on who we have here. We have Mercutio. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it at least somewhat right. He is a popularity sim and is currently a level 5 waiter in the culinary career. It's just something that runs in the Monty family, apparently. He had an interesting relationship. We'll look back at his memories real quick here. The ones that started after the gameplay started. So he had a thing with Miranda Cap. He fell in love with her. They were good together. I think they might have had chemistry at one point. I think they did. We'll get to why that might have changed. But he ended up, falling in love with her. They were together for a while. He also fell in love with Juliet, but this was by accident. I'm not sure why that happened. I think that was ACR acting up. But then he did kiss Miranda. And then he had woohoo with Miranda. And then if we go all the way down here, he catches Miranda cheating on him. Who did he catch Miranda cheating on him with? His brother. So he had an affair with Miranda. Juliet caught him cheating. And so he had an affair with Carmen. He just had multiple affairs, and just him and Juliet just. Romeo used to not be a good guy. He wants to get married though. That's nice. But he ended up. Okay, so we'll go back to Mercutio real quick. So Mercutio got over Miranda. She lives with them, but he got over her. And he met Mallory. Let me look at my book. Sorry, Mallory Mace. I have all the other townies that have been introduced into the story written down, except for her. And they fell in love. He convinced her to move in, but Mallory was a romance sim. Now they did have a daughter. I mean, this was fairly recent before this. But no, you guys aren't going to school because I need you guys to stay here for the show and tell. So, they fell in love. Mallory was a romance sim. And a thing that I've started in my gameplay recently is that if they roll the want to learn lifetime happiness, let's see if I can find it here. She did learn it. I know she learned it. I don't know where it's at, though. I don't know why she doesn't have the memory. I'll show you with Miranda. It's in there. That if they roll the want to learn lifelong happiness, they have earned the right to change their aspiration, regardless of what their aspiration is. they might have like an epiphany and change it to something else. And so Mallory learned that, she wasn't happy going after, multiple men. She wanted a family, and then so she changed her aspiration to family. The same thing actually happened to Miranda. Same aspiration too. I think it should hopefully show in here somewhere. Yeah. So she learned lifelong happiness, and then she changed her aspiration. So after being a homewrecker, Miranda moved in with Romeo, and they had a son together who is Edgar Monty. This is Edgar. He is the son of Miranda and Romeo. So that interesting little dude here. Very interesting guy. He is currently not seeing anybody. I think... I can't remember if I was somebody that I was looking for him or not. I can't remember if it's Edgar that's by or one of his cousins. Let's look real quick. Edgar, what are you? Let me click on this, please. No, that's the wrong one. It's this one over here. Game. Sim settings. Gender preference. Edgar. No, Edgar is straight. So there's a... He has a cousin looks very similar to him that's bi. We'll get to him eventually. But yeah, he is a popularity sim, and he is not doing so great in the skills department, but hopefully he can find some friends soon, because he's very lonely. He has, like, a platinum aspiration right now, but I'm not sure why. He doesn't have, like, many friends to make that go up. He is friends with his half-sister, Phoebe. I don't think he knows that she's his half-sister. I don't think he knows. And he's also friends with Hugh Cap. But we'll get to Phoebe eventually. Who just ate... Why did somebody's age just go up? I don't know what happened there. But yeah, that's really all that's happened in the Monty family. There has been a lot of drama. Mercutio and Romeo were not getting along there for a long time. It's just drama. Babies being born randomly. I think, like I said, Romeo wants to get married, so he and Miranda probably will get married at some point. But yeah, that's... Oh yeah, she's into Francis J. Worthington III. That's another thing. Hopefully she doesn't act on that anymore, but we'll get to him. So let's move on to the next family. And let's zoom up across the river and check out the Summer Dreamhouse at 71 Bard Boulevard. And here we are with Oberon. Not much has really changed for Oberon. He is a retired freelance web designer. He was in the literature career for whatever reason. I don't really remember why he rolled that one, but he did. But he did very well. I normally don't let them get very far when they don't have a college degree, but since he was, base game, I let it slide. He did end up marrying Titania. Like, who doesn't have them end up getting married? They're set up to get married. Everything is ready for them to get married, so why not just let them get married? And they've been very, very happy together. They did end up having another child, a third child, a biological child, but he does not live in this house right now. We'll get to him down the road. But things have gone very well for him, for both of them. They're both retired. Titania was a home video editor, level 7. Very good careers. They don't have a whole lot of money to show for it, but, very nice. Puck has had his ups and his downs. He did have a thing with Beatrice for a little bit. I think they actually kissed. If I remember correctly, I think they kissed. No, that was Desmonda. Yeah, so they had a thing for a little bit. It didn't end up working out. Beatrice is with somebody else now. We'll get to that. And then, eventually, down the line, he ended up falling in love with Desmonda. Now, there's a big age difference, But I definitely think that Desmonda fits in with the Summer Dream family. I think she really does fit in with him. Um, and she has two bolts with her husband. Things are really, really good for her. She is a pleasure sim, which are tend to be kind of harder to manage because I don't have a downtown. But she wants to go on a date. They can go on a date later at some point. So she's not the happiest sim at the moment. I also think some of it might be to do with death. Um, so Desmonda, other than that, she's been doing pretty well. She did have a baby somewhat recently with little Ursula. This is little Ursula Summer Dream. This is Puck and Desmonda's daughter. I don't know what she's gonna be like. Looking at this, she probably would be. I don't know. I don't even know by looking at this, and I haven't like seen her do anything other than just be a toddler, so I don't know what she'll be just yet. They have Crab 2 here. I don't know if I talked about the pets in the other families, but I've been wanting to name most of the characters in the town off after Shakespeare characters. There's a website that I've been using that just lists, any Shakespeare character. It doesn't matter what play they're from. Like little Ursula here is named after a Shakespeare character. And I wanted to do pets too. But I looked, and the only pet that I could find was named Crab. So I named a dog after Crab. Or named a dog Crab. Here's their grave over here. And then they've had a puppy named Crab 2. And Crab 2 will have probably a puppy, and I'll name it Crab 3. Because that's the only one that I have really named after a Shakespeare reference. There are lots of other pets in the town, but it was very limited choices. But yeah, that's kind of all that I can say about this household. Like, there is a Bottom, and then their younger brother Snout, but we'll get to them as we get to them. Because yeah, they've moved out, and there's not a whole lot going on in this household anymore. Alright, and next we're going to move on to the Cap family, or what I refer to as the Cap 2 family, just so I can keep them straight. They're living in 100 via Veronaville. I don't know what houses people usually move these families into. This is the one I felt like fit them the most, or what they could afford. So let's go ahead and hop on in and check and see what's going on with them. Here we are in the Cap household, and Goneril is making like gang signs at the wall or something. So she is alone. Albany has passed away actually quite a long time ago. And that's Lobster. That's Crab 1's other puppy. That's Lobster. And things are okay for her. She just recently retired. She was a bank robber. She was in the criminal career. She is a fortune sim, so that's one of the things she ended up rolling. Not much really happened in Goneril's life after taking over for her. Like, coming into the game, she grew to an elder. Her husband passed away. It's kind of just been bleh. Like, she's progressed in her career and things like that. But other than that, Miranda and Desmonda have moved out. She raised them the best she could. I think she did a good job with Desmonda. Miranda caused so many problems in this town, as you saw in the memories. Hal has been kind of interesting. He was a romance sim, and has romanced several sims, like Regina Serkunov, Carla McCullough, a few others. I think he wanted at one point to get with April Hutchins, and I feel like there's one more that he tried to get with, but I can't remember. And things didn't go well. He ended up rolling the want to, let's see if I can find it in here. He ended up rolling want to learn lifelong happiness. He did it, and I changed his lifelong happiness to fortune, because he saw that the family just wasn't doing too great. There was such limited space, and he wanted to get more of that. These two are going to have woohoo, so let's try to move past it. But he is about to become an elder. So he's not going to have probably no children or anything like that. He is kind of working things with Carla McCullough. I think he just actually went on a date with her recently. Yeah, so he might end up having with her and maybe having children, but he's so old. I don't know if anything is going to come of it. Ariel. Ariel is Fortune Sim. She is probably the best one in the family. She is a level 7 sports columnist. She just wants to keep getting career promotions. And I'm letting her because I feel like this one you could definitely go get, far in your career without university. And she keeps getting wants to get the skills for it. So it's happening naturally. She's currently in a relationship with Trista Shaw. I don't think they're engaged, but they are in love. They haven't had any wants to get engaged or anything go beyond that. They've just been enjoying each other, spending time with each other. She just moved in at the end of the last round, so there is a bit of an age difference, but not like a huge one. And that's really it for this family. Albany didn't do anything. He was a stay-at-home dad. He never got a job. He was just a stay-at-home dad. He took care of the kids. I think he was a little bit disappointed in Miranda and Hal, but, oh, somebody's going to work. It's Lobster, I think, going to work. Are you going to work, Lobster? I don't think you have a job. Oh, it's actually, I don't know. Oh, yeah, it would be, Goneril? Who the heck is going to work? Oh, Trista. Trista is in the politics career. I didn't even know that. I wasn't paying attention to what job she had. But yeah, that's really all that's happened in this family. The next family we're going to check out is the Monty family, or Monty 2 as I have called them. They currently live at 30 Poet Place, and they're very different from where you are at the beginning of the game, so let's hop in and check them out. Here we are. Antonio has actually just very, very recently passed away. And he had a pretty good life. He had a good job. He never found a romantic interest in anybody other than Titania, Summer Dream. There was nothing ever between them. They never kissed. They never woohooed. They never did anything romantic together. But for some reason, Antonio kept calling her for a booty call. I don't know if it was a glitch or what it was with ACR, but he kept calling her over. Other than that, he never really, found another partner or anything like that. He just had a good life. He was very nerdy. He read a lot of books, and he raised his kids. That was it. So then we'll start with his kids. We have Beatrice Monty, who is currently in the bathtub. She went to university. I think, she went to university, but Benedict did not. She is a knowledge sim, and she had, like I said, she had a thing with Puck, Summer Dream. Nothing ever came of it. But she did end up meeting Remington Creelman, who is a townie. They've never married, but they are very much in love, 100%. They have I say they never married. They are engaged. And I've been planning on doing a wedding at some point. Once they roll, they'll want to get married. They wanted to get engaged, but nothing far more than that. He actually went to university with her. I think he was a service sim, like a cashier. Let me look that up real quick. Yes, he was a clerk, and that's how she met him, and they fell in love, let's look it up, actually. Did they fall in love before they went to university? Let's look it up. First kiss was with Puck. Romeo grew up. Kissed Emil. Who the heck is Emil Farmer? I don't even know if I've noticed who that is. But she fell in love with Remington, and that was... it looks like they fell in love in university. I need to figure out who Emil is, because she had his first kiss with him, and I don't know if I've seen him since then. Interesting. But they are very much in love, and they have a child together. Lennox Monty. And Lennox is the bi one, and I've been trying to find somebody for him. He has an interest in Catherine Gregory, and I've been trying to find somebody else for him, just so we can have variety, maybe a guy for him, but I've not found anything like that. Benedict, you can see here, is panhandling because he is not happy at all, and it's probably because his dad just died. But other than that, he's been doing fine career-wise. You know, he's a level 5 waiter. Like I said, for some reason, the Monties have an affinity for cooking and the culinary career. And things have been going okay for him. He did not go to university like his sister. But then he ended up with Bottom Summer Dream, who is in the bathtub right now. And things have been going well for Bottom. I think there was another sim that she was looking at one point in time. Like, oh yeah, obviously, she had a really big thing with Mercutio, but she also liked Benedict at the same time, so she had to make a choice. But then she and Benedict ended up having Oberon, you know, and Oberon is obviously named after Bottom's father. I was kind of running out of Shakespeare names that I thought sounded good, so it's like, okay, it is time to start naming them after ancestors and family members and things like that. They do have 2 pets here, Obsidian and Shark. There's not much to them other than just their beloved pets, and it looks like Obsidian is going to die here pretty soon. And yeah, that's about it for this Monty family. It's been fun. It's actually been a lot of fun with these two, especially with Bottom joining. I've really enjoyed having Bottom here. Bottom's just an interesting character. I was really happy to see that her ears passed down to Oberon, so that way that they can kind of continue on in some way, because I don't think they're going to the other families. And we're going to the next one, which is the Monty 3 family, as I call them, on 20 via Veronaville. This looks very different from what you're probably expecting at the start of the game, so let's hop in and see them. And right away, we are here with Bianca. She is the only sim in the family when you start off. It kind of hints that there should be something between Bianca and Kent Cap, but of course, nothing happens with that because Kent is not into her at all. But they are friends. They are still friends. Yeah, they're still best friends forever. Things are going great for them, friendship-wise. Oh gosh, Dolphin, you stink so bad. Dolphin is the brother of Shark, if you didn't catch by the naming scheme there. But she did end up marrying someone. She ended up marrying, let me flip my page so I can check on his tiny name, Jonathan Turnick. And they actually married on pretty early on. He just, for whatever, got less days in his elder stage than she did. And things went really well for her. She achieved her family dreams. She became a police officer and retired at level 4. Things just went okay for Bianca. I don't want to say they're great. Like, they have some decent money now. Like, they could maybe move out into a bigger house. Possibly. I don't know, though. But then Jonathan and Bianca had Cressida here. Cressida, who is actually very pretty. I want you to go ahead and wake up. You don't have to go to work, do you? Yeah, okay. Cressida, wake up, please. Wake up so I can show your face. She's so pretty. I just can't get over how pretty she is. But yeah, this is Bianca's daughter with Jonathan. And she's fairly happy. She's a popularity sim. I thought she was going to go to university, but she ended up not going. You going to grab a plate? Yeah, we just had the baby's birthdays. But she's a level 3 lobbyist in the politics career. And she spent quite a long time looking for somebody to date. Because I was really trying to find somebody for her, like a teen guy in the town. I ended up generating a few more teens in the town, and nothing ever happened of it. And then she ended up, I noticed that she had really good chemistry with Snout Summerdream. This is the biological son of Titania and Oberon. You can see here. He is their only biological child, so he actually kind of looks like a cross between them. He's in the bathtub. We can check his face real quick. I think he probably looks more like Titania, but he has the ears. So I'm hoping that the kids here... I haven't actually looked at the kids. You can't tell because of your hair. What about this one? Do you have the ears? Hello? You do not. You have human ears. But yeah, it's interesting pairing. There's, Summer Dream and Monty in this household, Summer Dream and Monty in the other household, and in the main household, it's Summer Dream and Cap. So all of the families are completely mixed now. There is no Cap, there is no Monty, there is no Summer Dream. They're all one family, no matter if they want to admit it or not. In fact, most of the people that have the feuds are dead. Like, really, the only ones that are still feuding, kind of, are Tybalt, Mercutio, and Romeo. But they're enemies, but they don't have, like, negative relationship or anything like that. So, the feuds are dead. And I think they need to stay dead. It was stupid to begin with, you guys. You're all one big family now, so get over it. We have come to the last of the base 6 families that you start the game with. This is Cap 3. So let's hop in and check them out. Here we go. Here we have Reagan here. Reagan is a retired level 8 president in the business career. She has had pretty good. They have so much money. They could, if they needed to, move out into a bigger house. Reagan has just brought in so much money. She's definitely... Her husband was too. Oh gosh, what is his name? I don't know why I couldn't think of the name of Cornwall. He just died recently as well. They both brought in tons of money. They were both business sims. And they both, wanted more and more money. And they're well off. And I was able to make a pretty substantial renovation to this house to make it bigger for their new members of their family. Reagan and Cornwall did have a daughter together, who is Bristol up here. Hello, Bristol. Can you stop moving for 1 second so I can look at you? She is definitely a mix between Cornwall and Reagan. She definitely looks like them. And she's had a pretty interesting story. Nothing much happened when she was a teenager. But when she went to university, she met the, what are they called? The Davis twins, Aldrich and Ulmerich. And she liked both of them. If you look here, they used to have 2 bolts each. I don't know what happened. Their chemistry is weird in The Sims 2. She used to have 2 bolts with both of them. She liked them both. In the end, she went with Aldrich. But in the university, there was a storm, and lightning struck a tree. And when that tree caught fire, the rain stopped, and it burnt, and everybody died. Everybody died. Aldrich, Bristol, and Davis, they were all in the same dorm, and all 3 of them died. And I normally let things like that happen, and I just put it as part of the story. Like in my Strange Town, I had Laszlo Curious and his son died in a fire. That stuff, it's sad, it sucks, but it adds to the story. So it's like, okay, that sucks. Reagan and Cornwall are not going to have any descendants, unless they have one before they turn into elders. But it's whatever. It makes a neat story. And then I went to exit the game, and the game crashed. So it technically never happened with them. I don't even think they have the memories. Yeah, no memories, nothing like that. So you don't need to go to school, don't worry. And nobody goes to work. Nobody goes to work. I don't know who this card pool is for, but you're not going to work. It was probably Bristol here. But yeah, so Bristol, very interesting sim, and she and Aldrich are just interesting. That's who was going to work. It was Aldrich. So yeah, even though they don't remember it, I remember it. And Aldrich, not much has happened with him so far. He just got into university. When you start him, he is a sim in university. I have La Fiesta Tech for Veronaville. I know that all 3 of the university towns are supposed to be based with the 3 base game towns. I know that, and I intentionally don't use them because of that. So, yeah, that's where she met him and his brother. Kent here. Kent is... I'm going to be honest. Kent here has been more of a father to Bristol than Cornwall ever was. They are best friends forever. I don't even know if Bristol was best friends with her father. Let me look back here and see. Um, she's best friends with Almeric. She did make best friends with her father. Okay, but that was like, you can see how much later in her life. She learned how to study from Kent. I think she became best friends with, yeah, so he was definitely more of a father to her than Cornwall was. So I kind of count her as Kent's daughter in a weird way. You don't need to go to work, Kent. You're not going to work right now. Kent is actually, he's been doing amazingly. I think he's level 9. Yeah, he's a level 9 in the science career. Again, base game. I don't care that he didn't go to university. And he is currently in a relationship with Edward Mellon. I would like them to get married before they die, but neither of them have really wanted to do that. So it's just, it might not ever happen, which is sad. Oh, but then Bristol and Aldrich have a little baby named Darby. And Darby is adorable. She wants to get some new pets. We could probably definitely do that with her. Maybe Leo can have some kittens. And you can see that she is... I don't know. She might be a family sim. She might be a popularity sim. We'll see. Because of the fact that she wants all these kittens and stuff, I'm thinking she may end up being family. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about them at the moment. Cornwall didn't do too much other than just make a lot of money. Oh, that's something that happened. We'll look through Kent's memories here. Fought Cornwall. Fought Cornwall. Fought Cornwall. Are there any more back here in the bag? Yeah, fought Cornwall. Just constant beating each other up all the time. They hated each other. And I like to think that he beat on Kent so much because he took so much care of their daughter. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. And there's just one more family that I want to talk about here. The Davis family is down here. This is just Almeric, and he just now got a dog named Bernadette, who I'm probably going to end up breeding with Crab 2, so they could have Crab 3. And then he had Marie Rosher just moved in at the end of the round. I love how Echo interrupts me in the middle of the stupidest things. So yeah, not much has happened with Davis. Nothing that I really need to check on. He just lives in an apartment. The one that we're going to check on the last, though, is the Worthington family. This is the one that I think is the most interesting. So let's go ahead and hop in here. And here we have Francis J. Worthington III, who is another university sim that you get in La Fiesta Tech. He is a fortune sim and is currently level 8 of a president in the business career. He loves to cook. I think, is cooking his main hobby? Yeah, he cooks constantly whenever he can. He just cooks. I'm actually surprised he didn't want to become, a cook in the culinary career. Whatever. I love having him because even though he kind of feels like a snobby character, he's meant to be a snobby character, he hasn't acted like it at all. Like, he had a thing with Miranda Cap at one point, but really, he's just been such a nice character. He doesn't fit up to the stereotype at all. You're not going to go to work, though, Francis. Not today. And things are just going great. And in university, he actually met Juliet Cap, who is actually Juliet Worthington now. Juliet started her, the game in love with Romeo. And they did love each other. And they grew into adults. And they continued loving each other. And Juliet ended up having a baby with Romeo named Phoebe. Or at least she got pregnant with Phoebe. But we're going to go here and look at her memories. All the way back here. So she had woohoo with Romeo. She got engaged to Romeo. She got Romeo cheating. And then she had the baby. She didn't tell Romeo that it was his. And they broke off the engagement. So I think Romeo now knows that Phoebe is his kid. they had a weird interaction at one point where Phoebe was sitting here at the kitchen table. Romeo walked in the house, just sat with her and talked with her. It's because Francis is actually friends with Romeo, or at least he was at one point, I think. Or maybe that's Mercutio that he's best friends with. Hold on. No, what happened was because Juliet is still best friends forever with him, so he can just walk in whenever he wants because they're best friends forever. But he just came in, he sat down and had a conversation with her. So I think he may have told her, "Hey, I think you're my daughter. You look like me," things like that. And she kind of does. We'll look at her in a second. Yeah, she definitely looks more like Romeo than Juliet. But she still has the Cap name. She does not claim Romeo as her father. She definitely claims Francis as her father, even though they don't have a relationship at all. In fact, I think she might actually look to Tybalt more as her father than Romeo, because she lived in the Cap Manor for a long time before they moved in with Francis. And then Francis and Juliet together have two children. Francis J. He went to war. He went to school. No. Well, we'll just look at him in the picture here. This is Francis J. Worthington the Fourth, and he is probably going to be a lot like his father. And it's probably going to be, yeah, he's probably going to be a fortune sim like his father and try to increase the wealth of the family. And then they just had this little baby here named Tybalt Worthington. It says the third here. I need to go and change that in ACR. But this is Tybalt Worthington, named after Juliet's brother. And he is just a nice little guy. I think he'll probably end up being... Oh, I don't know. He might be a knowledge... No. He might be a knowledge sim, but I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see what he is when he starts acting like a person and, like a person into his own and things like that. And here we are in La Fiesta Tech. I am eventually going to end up putting these sims into Veronaville, I think. As well as these, I would like to eventually get all of these sims into Veronaville. But for the moment, we're going to be focusing on this one in the Desert Dormitory. I have them named Uni Round 10 because they went to university in Round 10. So let's go hop in and check them out. And this right here is Phoebe Cap. I feel like she should be the poster child of this entire series. If I can get a good image of her. Hello, Phoebe. Yes. So this is Phoebe Cap. This is the daughter of Romeo and Juliet. The one that everybody thinks about, the couple that everybody thinks about when they think of Veronaville. This is the product of that, even though she has nothing to do with her father. But she is in university. She is actually a fortune sim, so she rolled the want to go to university. I didn't just force her because she's a knowledge sim. And she is very playful and not super neat. I don't know how things are going to work out for her. She apparently wants to go to the biology major. But she is in university with Keith Cormier, who was a teen townie. And they have literally just started university, so not much has happened. But, yeah. I love her so much. She's so good. I love that face is amazing. But, yeah. That is my Veronaville after 40 years. And it has been, more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I was going into Veronaville. I didn't think it would be too interesting, but there was a lot of drama, especially around Miranda Cap and Romeo Monty. But I had a lot of fun. I probably will end up continuing this someday. I don't know when, because I have plans for other neighborhoods for right now. But let me know what you guys thought of all the things that happened in this town, and let me know if things happen differently in your town. Because that's one of the things that I really like about The Sims, especially The Sims 2, of, you starting at the same starting point, but things, happen vastly differently, for all the different players. I like playing in my custom neighborhoods, like Dim Valley and Credit Fold, But, having the actual Maxis made towns set up with the storyline, but everybody else's storyline just differs so much. I love it. So yeah, let me know down in the comments.